Strap on your helmet and hold on tight. What the Las Vegas Raiders front office is doing right now is either a stroke of genius or the biggest shot in the foot in franchise history. And I am not staying quiet while our future is on the line. We already know Fernando Mendoza is taking that QB1 spot. That's a done deal. But what about everything else? Has John Spytek completely lost it by tipping our hand to our rivals? Why on earth are we ignoring protection for our new franchise QB to focus on defense in the second round? And most importantly, who are the giants that can save Mendoza from getting chewed up by AFC West defenses? I'm Ryan Miller, and if you want the raw, unfiltered truth about the silver and black, you're in the right place. Smash that like button and buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you changes everything for the Raiders. You've got to be kidding me if John Spytek thinks we're playing poker with our cards face up. The news that just dropped is that the Raiders aren't even trying to hide their massive interest in San Diego State cornerback Chris Johnson. Look, the draft starts at pick number 2 because number 1 has a name and a face, Fernando Mendoza. No one doubts that. But what kills me is the lack of mystery. We're talking combine interviews, virtual meetings, and now an official visit to the facility. This is exactly how you get another team to jump one spot ahead of us just to steal our guy out of pure spite. But let's get to the meat and potatoes. Who is this kid? Chris Johnson is a 6-foot freak of nature who clocks a 4.4040. In 2025, he was an absolute nightmare for offenses. The guy allowed receptions on just 41.9% of targets his way. Do you know what a 16.1 passer rating looks like when you're targeted? That's not just football, that's pure lockdown dominance. He snagged 4 interceptions, taking 2 of them straight to the house. The impact on this roster is immediate. We signed Taron Johnson in free agency, which was great, but our CB depth is a total desert. Darian Porter is still a project that hasn't panned out, and if we don't bring in someone ready to start yesterday, Mendoza is going to have to put up 50 points a game just for us to stay competitive. My take? Johnson at pick 36 is a luxury we need, but Spytek is playing a dangerous game by being this vocal. If we land him, we lock down the secondary for 5 years. But if someone swipes him because our GM fell in love publicly, there's no way I'm sugarcoating that failure. If you thought the shockers stopped there, hold my beer. We're about to put a diamond in Clint Kubiak's hands, but if we don't build a wall around him, Mendoza is going to be dust before week 4. Sports Illustrated just dropped their O-line checklist, and it's getting real. We have 10 picks in this draft. 10. There is zero excuse for Spytek not to walk away with at least 2 or 3 monsters in the trenches. The plan is simple. Colton Miller isn't getting any younger, and DJ Glaze on the right. Look, he played okay, but he hasn't convinced me he owns that spot. We need elite athleticism. If Arizona State's Max Ihanaker is there at 36, forget what I said about the cornerback for a second. This guy is a physical alien. He gets to the second level with terrifying ease. For Kubiak's scheme, where we want to run the rock and lean on play action, this is the perfect fit. And there's a technical detail most people ignore: arm length. Clint Kubiak saw firsthand in the Super Bowl what happens when Will Campbell got swallowed up because he couldn't get his hands into the defender's chest. We need to target Emil Wagner from Notre Dame. The guy has nearly 35-inch arms. He's a human crane. And if we're talking pure pass pro, the name is Trey Zune III from Texas A&M. A 96.8 pass blocking grade on PFF? That's insane. Bottom line, if Spytek doesn't check these names off the list, he's signing Mendoza's death warrant. Investing in the trenches isn't an option, it's survival. Keep the pace because the plot thickens. While everyone is drooling over Chris Johnson on defense or the Giants on the O-line, there's a name flying under the radar that the fan base is sleeping on: Washington wide receiver Denzel Boston. Why does this matter now? Because Spytek knows Mendoza needs a security blanket. If we go O-line in round 1, assuming a trade, or go all in on the offense, Boston is that guy who turns short slants into 60-yard touchdowns. The behind-the-scenes dilemma is heavy. Do you spend pick 36 on the lockdown CB everyone knows you want, or do you double down on offense to make sure your rookie QB has every weapon possible? What I'm hearing in the Vegas hallways is that the 2026 plan is to be aggressive. No more slow rebuilds. We have the draft capital to move up, move down, and make noise. The danger here is overthinking it. Sometimes the obvious move is the right one. If Chris Johnson is the guy who stops Patrick Mahomes from doing whatever he wants to our faces, then he's the pick. But if Mendoza is running for his life because we picked a CB over an elite tackle, I'll be the first one calling for the front office's head on this channel. The radar is pinging. Spytek's aggressiveness on day 2 will decide if we're Super Bowl contenders in 2 years, or if we're burning another young talent at the stake. We've covered it all today. The blatant interest in CB Chris Johnson, the mandatory shopping list to protect our future, and the tug of war between arming the offense or locking the defense. This is a war room scenario, and the 2026 draft is the most important decade for the Raiders. Now I want to hear from you, the ones who bleed silver and black. In this spot, do you use pick 36 to secure lockdown corner Chris Johnson and fix the defense? Or is it mandatory to spend that pick on an elite O-lineman like Maxi Hinacher to make sure Mendoza doesn't leave the field on a stretcher? Don't dodge the question. Drop a comment below because this debate is about to get heated. Subscribe, hit the like button, and as always, just win, baby.